guys, it's Julia from Next Door Fangirl, and today I'm going to be doing my August wrap-up. So I had 5 books in my August TBR, which I will put the link to in the description box, and unfortunately I only got to 3.5 of them. But I mean, for me that's still kind of a lot of books to read. I really usually don't even read a full book a month. I am proud of the amount of books that I've read, because you know what? One book is better than none, right? So 3.5 is better than 30. Okay, anyway, let's just get into what I read. Oh my god, I know I'm doing this in September, my August wrap-up. I've been really behind in my videos because school started up, so I'm just marathoning a bunch of videos today, and I'll put them up, as time goes on, because I don't know if next time I'll be able to do a lot of videos because college stuff and schoolwork and stuff. Anyway, so let's just get into my wrap-up, alright. So the first book that I read in August was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the Throne of Glass series, and I loved it. I was so worried after reading Throne of Glass. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't oh my god, this book is amazing, oh my god, I'm so obsessed with it. And I was like, am I gonna be the only one who's not obsessed with this series? Not to worry anymore, because this book was amazing. I'm going to put up a review for it. I'm probably gonna film that today. So yeah, I will put the link to that in the description, or maybe you can just click on this book right here. Just click on it when that video is up. So, but yeah, I enjoyed this book so much. Oh my god, it was just so good. I don't even know what to say about it, but I won't talk that much more about it because yeah. Oh, it's the spine is kind of weak now, I guess, from reading it. Love you. So the next 2 books were school books, and I do not have their physical copies right now because they are downstairs, and frankly, I'm lazy and don't feel like getting them. And for both of these books, I'm not going to do reviews about them, so I'm just going to kind of talk about how I felt about them in this video. So the first book was The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, and this book, how to describe this book? This was definitely a tough book, not in its reading level, but in the topics that it dealt with. I read this book in 2 days, which is good for me because I'm pretty slow usually. So I guess I'll just give you guys a little summary. This book is about really a community of African Americans. It takes place kind of post-Great Depression, I think it said, and it deals with a lot of racial problems, but also a lot of problems in the household. And a lot of domestic problems, I guess, if that's what you call it. I don't even know how to put this book into words. Essentially, it follows the story of this young African-American girl named Pecola, I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, Breedlove, who you find out in the beginning of the book was raped by her father, and that resulted in her pregnancy. And it's a really tough book, and I personally, reading it made me uncomfortable, and I think that's kind of how you're supposed to feel. You're not supposed to be oh yeah, this is totally normal, because it's obviously such a horrible and tragic story, but I feel I'm still too young to fully appreciate it. I know there are a bunch of people in my class who are yeah, this book is so good, but I think it might have been a bit too much for me. I was talking to someone, and an adult, and they said, oh yeah, I've read that, that's a tough book though for someone your age. I was like, yeah, I don't really know that I fully appreciated it for what it was, because it was definitely a beautifully written book. Toni Morrison is a really good author, and she's really, very revered author. But yeah, it was just, I'm not really good with that types of stuff. Reading, about sex stuff makes me uncomfortable sometimes. I'm not a very affectionate person, so I don't know that I got all that was intended to get from this book, but it was definitely a really good read and really meaningful book. Yeah, so I'll probably do a review for it on Goodreads, which I will link down below. The next book that I had to read for school, which was definitely a lighter read, I was actually supposed to read this one first and then read The Bluest Eye, but whatever. And that book is How to Read Literature Like a Professor, a lively and entertaining guide to reading between the lines by Thomas C. Foster. Most of these books I kind of talked about in my TBR for August, so like I said, link for that is in the description. So when I first heard that I was reading a book called How to Read, I was like, oh my god, I just thought that it was going to be the worst thing ever. I thought it would be so boring. And then I got it, and I was kind of looking through the table of contents, and it seemed kind of funny actually. And then I read it, and I actually really enjoyed this book. Like, it took me a while to get through just because it's kind of like dense, I guess. Not that it's long, it's just like the stuff that it talks about. It's not like something you can kind of just flip through. It's not story. It talks about like what things mean when you see them in literature. So like it talks about like seasons and weather and food, eating, vampires and sex and everything essentially you find in a book. You know, like how eras often are marked differently from the normal people, I guess. The book then mentions Harry Potter's scar, of course. So it was really interesting just to kind of read that and like see like, oh, so that's what this author meant when they did that, and that's what, you know, that's what people mean when they write this. But I think I enjoyed it because I am a big reader and also like writer, so I could kind of like appreciate that. I know one of my friends was like, why did you enjoy this book? So yeah, it's definitely, I think, a hit or miss, but I enjoyed it. I find it kind of funny. I think it would be better though almost for writers than readers, because like when you read, I mean, unless I guess you want to read like a professor, like the book is supposed to teach you, but you know, most people, I guess, when they read don't really want to read all that into it. If you're reading for pleasure, you just kind of want it to be a fun experience. You don't want to work. So I think that this book could have also been really helpful though for writers, because if you're a writer, you kind of want to know what all these things mean in your writing when you put them in there, and you know, you want to be able to, you want to know what your reader is thinking when they're reading. So I think it would be a really good book for anyone who's interested in writing. There are a lot of it gives a lot of examples about famous pieces that I have not read, but I found it fun. So I will also be writing a Goodreads review for this book, so the link for that will be in the description box. And the final book that I started reading in August, I have since finished it in September, is Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, the third book in the Throne of Glass series, so the one after Crown of Midnight. You can see this. I have my lovely shelf of, let me go on this side, of Sarah J. Maas books, complete with Queen of Shadows. Can't wait to start that one. I haven't started it yet. I only got about halfway through this book in August. I have since finished it in September. There will be a review up for this book soon. I will be talking about it also in my September TBR, because obviously I needed to finish it in September because it was so good. So those are the books that I read in the month of August. Let me know what you guys read in August. Like I said, I really am proud of how much I read. I consider this, for me, it's a really good reading month. So hopefully I'll keep it up. September is a tough month because school and school. So I'm definitely going to go a bit easier on myself, because unfortunately I do have to put my schoolwork first, which kind of sucks. Trust me, I don't want to, but I do have to. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Let me know what you read this month, and let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think about them. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Live long and nerd on. I'm going to put up a review here. I'm going to put up a I read this. Ooh, I hit my thing. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'm so awkward. I'm going to put up a review. Why can't I talk? I'm going to put up a review for it. I don't know if I said that right. The first book that I read, that was a weird voice.